Hello and welcome to 0 Point Energy, where there's 0 point what we talk about and just as much energy. I'm Sean.
And this is Jorge.
And today we're going to be talking about the 2012, I hesitate to call this a masterpiece.
But, okay.
Movie. It's good enough in its own right. It's just kind of crap as part of the franchise it's a part of. And that is Ridley Scott's Prometheus.
It's not that bad. It's not crap. It's
crap compared to the rest of the series.
It could have been better. I'll admit it could have been better, but it's not crap. It's good. I'll just call it good.
It's a good movie. It's a shit aliens movie.
I disagree. Hear me out. Okay, this movie takes a lot of good things, and the script that they started with was supposed to be really good. I actually read it, and it had a lot of religious connotations. It actually played really, really well with Christianity. The problem was, somehow... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Oh, somehow, people actually, from the, viral snippets of things here and there to, get people excited about the movie, figured out, wait, this is the plot of the movie, and this is what's going to happen. And people were dead fucking on. And so then they're like, fuck, we got to change it. And then they came up with this.
Well, yeah, because all of these movies are semi-predictable. I watched Prometheus back in 2012 when it was new. I had not seen any of the marketing for this movie. I had not even fucking heard of it when I watched it. I watched it by going to the Red Box and just looking like, that seems like an interesting movie about aliens. I like Ridley Scott movies. I'm gonna watch it.
Well, do you still like Ridley Scott movies?
Oh, I love Ridley Scott movies. I don't like this movie.
Ah.
As a sci-fi movie, as a movie about aliens, as a sci-fi thriller, great movie. As a part of the Aliens franchise, shit movie. Not as bad as either of the Alien versus Predator movies. Yeah, I hate those movies. Those are shitty ass movies.
I don't disagree with you, but I did like the first one. The first one was okay.
The first one is far superior to the second one.
Agreed.
And I'd even say it's better than this. I hate this within the franchise.
Seriously?
I do. If this was a standalone entry, which is based upon the Aliens franchise, okay, cool. But as a part where it's canon, it's part of the main overall story and plot, shithole movie.
We'll agree to disagree. I mean, hear me out, okay? In terms of the religious connotations about how we were created and trying to find how we came to exist and then find out, holy shit, wait, actually, should I? Yeah, it's been 2012. It's been 10 years. You people should have watched this movie. Okay, and then finding out our creators are like, you know what? We're going to kill everything. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The religious connotation, the original movie could have been tweaked a little bit to make it not so obvious what's going to happen, and it would have been a great movie. What they did was they completely redid their entire movie because, it's kind of obvious. But that's the thing. They kept in some of those heavy religious questions, but then they just left turn veered away from that. So it's you just found out that your gods hate you. You still believe in your gods? I have faith. But, that's it. They just have these moments with Shaw, which is, our kind of main character, Dr. Shaw, played by Noomi Rapace.
Yes.
And she's a great actress. It's a good character. And, again, it's the fact that she still has her faith. She still believes, despite all of the evidence to the contrary that's being thrown in her face here by finding her creators. She literally got to meet her maker, and her maker tried to murder her after raping her.
Raping? What?
The alien baby that she had to have a C-section for.
Okay,
raping. That's divine rape.
It's biological.
The Holy Ghost invaded her man, and he raped her, gave her a baby, tried to murder her.
more like biological possession, and then let's explain some of this.
Rape.
What?
Divine Ray.
I hate you. Look, point is, at the beginning of this movie, we
same
have
shit
these
as
people.
Zeus turning into a swan.
That didn't happen. Move on. At the beginning of this movie, we have the alien creators, basically called engineers by Noomi Rapace's character, Shaw, and her beau, Holloway. And the dude is basically wearing a diaper. He takes off his robe. This ship travels away. And then after it travels away, the dude basically opens a container. It looks like gold, mercury-ish looking bright material. He drinks
kind
it,
of living goo. As it gets swirling around on its own, it's moving against its own current, trying to climb out of the container.
Yes. Okay, so he drinks it voluntarily and then basically commits a suicide, basically.
I don't think he intentionally falls off the mountain or jumps off of it. He just, the goo starts to eat him from the inside out.
Yes.
And, he kind of hit that look on his face at some point where it's like, this is not the outcome he was hoping for.
I disagree. Hear me out, okay? I think it's more the pain of actually dying, but hear me out. The way I interpret it is, it's a suicide, but it's a justifiable suicide, voluntarily done in order to himself die, but then the liquid eats him and then takes his genetic material to seed the entire planet.
Possible. That's the thing. Prometheus is basically the proto-Xenomorph movie.
Yes.
This is a movie that is the first Xenomorphs before Xenomorphs are a thing, despite the fact that canonically there are 2 movies with a Xenomorph in them that come before this.
They're not canon, though. They're not in... Okay, they're in the wider alien...
They are considered canon.
They are not.
The first one is, at least.
I'm looking this up. No, hold on.
Yeah. The chronological
canon
order
movies, Alien Universe. Okay, we have canon movies, Alien Universe Timeline. The Ted, what the fuck? The Peter Whalen files. Okay. What the hell is... These are... Okay, apparently there are short films for this.
Yes.
Why didn't we watch these? Fuck.
Because they were, viral marketing for Prometheus.
Okay, so see? Like I was saying before.
That shit I found out after the fact, or they had a whole fucking marketing campaign for this shit.
How did you not
know? I never saw any of it. I never even saw a fucking billboard for this movie.
I spent too much time on the internet then. Fuck. Okay. Look, you need to spend more time on the internet. The point is, see, all of this shows the different, what do you call it? The different movies, or little movies, TED Talks and shit for it. Holy crap, one of them takes place in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 years. Then we have the little mini movies, and then from there we have Prometheus. It does not mention AVP at all.
Okay.
Now, AVP is in the wider Alien/Predator universe, but it's not canon with the Alien movies.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Okay, so at least they decided to not make those canon. They were canon for a short time.
No, you're right, they were.
So, but it's still... it raises questions. The Xenomorph. There's something they do talk about in other movies. They talk about it a lot in Covenant. That's kind of the whole point of it. The Xenomorphs take over aspects of their host to become better. So they always try to become the best life form they can.
Yes. How
the fuck, in this movie, did I go from an amorphic blob to a slug to a lamprey to whatever the fuck that thing is that they pulled out of her stomach to the giant goddamn thing that ends up eating the engineer at the end to what we know is the Xenomorph. Okay. How the fuck is that evolution based on those DNA chains? Where's the logic there?
Okay. this is, again, more behind the scenes stuff, but from what I've been able to tell, okay, number one, the material itself is supposed to be based off of the engineer's religion. Engineer's religion specifically has to do with they were saved at some point by something called a deacon, and that deacon's blood is what that material is at the beginning of the movie that helps them see Earth.
Okay.
So
that
then,
makes sense.
Okay, so from there, they tried to make their own, which is the goo that brings about the evolution of the xenomorphs. Now, that goo specifically is supposed to be a weapon. It's a perverted version of the original stuff that was used to seed planets.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to create it on their own and shit. Now, it specifically is a mutagenic, living, how to say it, evolutionary...
jump starter.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
now,
it forces you to your next evolutionary phase. So that forces you to become your next better form based on whatever form it was already in.
No, not exactly. The idea is for it to eventually become a xenomorphic type thing. Because if you noticed in the movie, when they went into the room with all the goo pods, there is a crucifix type thing that looks like a xenomorph. That's the deacon.
Okay.
So it has the eventual becoming that built into it, but it has to get there little by little. Now, eventually it becomes a xenomorph because the xenomorph doesn't look exactly like a deacon.
No, but that's what I mean. That's the weird thing I'm getting at here is usually what we know from these things of how a xenomorph morph, like it's a thing in every one of the movies, even in Covenant. If a face hugger impregnates a dog, the xenomorph that thing becomes is very dog-like.
Agreed.
Now, if the face hugger that the dog-like one lays infects a human, the xenomorph it becomes has the ability to run on all fours like a dog, but it becomes a more humanoid. It has more biped aspects and the more upper body than we have, so on and so forth. It always takes on the characteristics to make itself better. In this movie, we go from amorphous goo, which again, like you said, it's the protogenic goo based off of the original goo that was given to them by Deacon. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's kind of a bastardization of that goo. So that's the start. That turned into a lamprey after infecting the little lizard bug things that were on the ground.
Yes, I have an explanation for that.
They do show the little insects crawling around, and then the ooze is coming out, and it affects them. And then we get those lamprey ones that killed one guy by breaking his arm and that. So that's a logical, biological thing. It gets bigger, it adds some teeth, it adds some strength. Makes sense. That one is technically what infects the one guy who got the girl pregnant, who gets Shaw pregnant.
No.
No?
No. Okay, so the way it works is it's supposed to infect biological material and try to make it stronger, like you said. Yeah. The thing is that, again, fan theories, but the idea is they chose that planet because it was mostly dead so that they could manufacture the goo and then go around kill all of their old stuff because they were disappointed in it, supposedly. Yeah. So the reason why they chose that planet is not a lot of life, so it can't infect and get too rowdy.
Yeah, because the worst it would become with the biological life on that planet is those lamprey things.
Yes. Now, if you'll remember, what's his name? David. David went into the
David
temple.
Took the goo and put it inside the drink to put inside the guy who got Shaw pregnant.
Exactly. Okay. And
so
that's why...
Why did that one come out as the starfish with teeth instead of what we've seen in future future movies as the humanoid xenomorph, like what we get at the end of Alien Resurrection?
That I can't explain. I'll admit I cannot explain.
That should have been the logical leap from the goo infects a human, the human impregnates a human, the thing that comes out should be humanoid. At the very least, it should have been a bipedal creature, like a person. It shouldn't have been this giant starfish.
Not necessarily. Okay, I have an idea. This is my theory, but still. Okay, so my idea is specifically that it takes the human DNA, but it still has to, for some reason, in its own incubation, become a face hugger type thing, in your case the starfish, and that's why it became that, because it needed to impregnate something with it so that it could grow, like it did the engineer at the end.
I mean, that makes some sense.
Now, from there, the what's this? Where was I? We were talking about right. Okay, they were trying to kill everything. The idea behind the deacon blood supposedly was they wanted to somehow pervert their savior with the blood to kill everything. Why? We don't know.
I mean, using religion as a basis for genocide? That makes sense right there.
I hate it when you make sense.
You hate it when it makes sense, but it's only because I'm right most of the time.
That too.
But see, that's the thing. If this movie had kept those super heavy religious tones to it, those allegories, that would make more sense and this would be a better movie.
Oh, no, I agree.
It'd be predictable as fuck, but it'd still be a better movie.
Oh, by the way, in that same vein, the original script said that the conversation between David and the engineer would have been along the lines of like, can you make me live longer? And they said, your your time on this plane is what it is. We cannot extend or make it shorter. Like, biologically speaking, you were made to be what you are. And then he said, what was it? Why are you killing us? And then the engineer responded that we sent you one of our sons, which is basically Jesus, read between the lines, and you killed him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Things like that make sense. Again, predictable as fuck.
Yeah.
But it would be a better movie, even though it's hyper predictable. Like, you can watch a lot of movies and like, yeah, I see it. I know exactly what's going to happen. How many times have I done that when we've seen a brand new movie in the theater? Like, I can guarantee this is how this is going to go. And then that's exactly how it goes.
That I can remember off the top of my head, 5.
Yeah. Like I said, but those movies were good and still worth watching.
Agreed.
I mean, okay, we forget exactly what movies they were because they become forgettable because, oh yeah, it's a predictable movie. It's movie trope A, so it kind of just gets lost in the aether of movies in your head. But I have good memories of, I enjoyed watching it. I have no memory of ever enjoying watching this movie.
Seriously?
The first time I watched this movie, I loved it. This is awesome. And then I got a little over halfway through the movie when it becomes very obvious that it's an alien movie. And it's a prequel to Alien. And then it's like, oh, well, now this is a shitty movie.
Fine. Okay.
Like, I was enjoying the hell out of watching this movie when I didn't know what it was. And once I knew what it was, it sucked some of the joy out of it for me.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that.
Whereas those movies I can't remember the title of or even the plot of. I just remember, you know what? Me and Jorge had fun watching this movie. This was a good movie. It was a good day out, even though all we did was watch a movie and eat a pizza.
Agreed.
So, like, shitty movies can give you a good feeling from watching them. Absolute shit show of a movie. No. You remember every aspect of the movie because of how much you disliked it.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what this is. It had the potential to be good. Like, if this was the hyper-religious movie that it was meant to be, with just all the allegory and everything, I would probably remember it as, yeah, no, that's worth watching. I don't remember the story of it, but I know it had a lot of Jesus allegories.
Yeah, okay.
Like, here's a good example of those movies. The Narnia series of movies. I cannot tell you a specific plot point from any of the movies, even though I watched all the ones that were made. The live action ones.
Right.
I watched them all. I can't tell you a specific plot point. I can tell you the plot points from the books, because I read the books. I know the movies are tweaked because movies get tweaked. That's how it works. But I also enjoyed watching all of those movies, even though they ratchet the religious allegories up to 1,000 compared to the books, and the books were literally Bible allegories.
Agreed.
So, again, a well-made shitty movie will still gives you that sense of joy from having watched it. Like, especially the third one. Or was that the sea something? Pirates? Caspian. I know that movie was shit. That movie tanked.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the time I spent watching it. I understand why it tanked, but again, I can't name any actual plot point from that movie. I cannot give you a specific reason why it tanked, other than at that point people were getting a little burnt out on the Narnia movies, even though it was only the third of 8 movies. But then they never made the other 5.
I mean,
I think its biggest problem was it came out along the same time as Harry Potter and all. It had competition for technically better movies. Like, I've seen the Harry Potter movies. I refuse to read the Harry Potter books. I enjoyed the Harry Potter movies. I watched them with my brother, and I have good memories of watching those movies. Would I watch them again? No. I don't like them that much. But I don't feel like I wasted my time watching them at least once through.
You heard it here, people. We're going to watch Harry Potter next week. I'm kidding.
I would rather do the Spanish movies.
You heard it here, folks. Next week, Spanish movies.
By the time any of this ever gets out, it'll probably be more of like next decade.
I hate you.
Again,
I have a point, but I hate you.
He only hates me when I'm right.
That's a lie. I also hate you when you're wrong.
Yeah, but he mostly hates me when I'm right.
Yeah. Okay, back to the movie. We have a star-studded cast here. We've got, we've got Noomi Rapace playing the lead, Michael Fassbender playing the really creepy David. We've got Guy Pearce playing old man, what is his name? Wayland.
Yes.
We got Idris Elba playing
the ship's captain.
Thank you. I forgot who Logan Marshall Green is.
Oh,
he plays Holloway.
Yeah, he plays the
love interest to
Romy Rapace's love interest.
Yeah. And Charlize Theron as in the movie. It's a spoiler, but she's Wayland's daughter.
Yeah, I think her main role is she's like project lead. So like technically, it's her ship. She owns the ship. She's like the Wayland liaison to the mission.
And near the end of the movie, we find out that her father hates her or doesn't count her and considers David his unborn/made son. Like, he doesn't care about her at all. No.
I mean, he even went so far as to put in her private quarters literally the best that money can make automated medical pod.
Yeah.
But then only made one that's designed for males. Like, it's in her private bedroom. She can't even use it.
Unfortunately.
Which is, like, that should have tipped her off long ago that her father hated her. He gave her a gift she could never use. Life.
What the fuck, man? No, it's more like he gave her the gift that she never wanted.
Chlamydia?
The fuck are you? Okay, we're not talking about a Southern movie, okay? This isn't Deliverance.
Speaking of Southern movies, comment below if you want us to do Kentucky Fried Movie at some point, because we have that on DVD.
We do?
We do.
Okay, cool. Also, Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes. We should do Smokey and the Bandit.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, like, technically we should probably do the entire franchise, but I don't think I could sit through all 5 of those movies.
Okay, I know you can sit through 1 through 3 at least. Why not 4 and 5?
Oh, they're dog shit. They're absolute dog shit.
Alright, fine.
There's a reason they were direct to DVD.
All right. What else we got? There is actually so much to talk about in this movie, but I can't decide. Fuck.
For those of you who enjoy watching Cinema Sins, this is the movie that originated the Prometheus school running away from things, because the giant donut ship that the aliens fly, the engineers, it crashes and donut rolls its way down the ground, and Charlize Theron and Romy Laplace are running straight down its path instead of veering to either side, when that would be the easiest way to get out of the way. Romy Laplace falls at one point and rolls 6 inches to the side and gets completely missed by the rolling donut.
It was 3 feet.
It was one body's width when she was a full roll. I know she rolled slightly to the side and got the fuck out of the way and was safe.
Okay, 2 feet.
Charlize Theron kept running for another 30 yards and still got crushed.
Okay, but I can explain
Turn to the left.
I can explain that, though. She's blonde.
She's never seen a NASCAR race? Turn left. Turn left. Turn left. Hey, guess what? Turn left. This movie had heavy religious connotations. Turn right. For those of you who follow the American political system, you would get that.
I don't get that, but okay.
Bible thumpers, radical Christians.
Fine. Okay.
The far right.
Thinking... Moving on. All right. God damn it. Where was I? I actually had a point. Fuck. Oh, right. Her faith. What?
Her faith does keep her. Like, there are lots of moments where they are talking to Shaw, and they bring up her faith and the fact that she wears a cross, and like she's a scientist, but she has this faith, and it's like the way they made this movie after changing the original script makes you constantly question every time they bring it up. Like, where are they going with this? Why do you keep bringing it up? Why are you trying to make that a point?
At the end, it still makes a little bit of sense, but you have to really fucking dig for it.
Yeah, it's a reach for it to like, okay, so was there a big plot point that she's faithful, and despite her god basically abandoning her and fucking her over, she still believes? Or did we just need to put a cross in the movie because it looked pretty as set dressing?
Now that's the thing, though. Hear me out. Like, technically, according to the backstory I just gave, our gods, the engineers, have their own god, the deacon. Okay? Then they use the deacon to kill their own creations. So, does that mean that they consider themselves, considering we're a part of them, like they're evil? Or do they consider that they made a mistake and they're like, you know what? We should just live and everything else should die?
Could be. Or perhaps the reason they're trying to kill humans is a Noah's Ark situation. Gotta kill them all. Let the survivors just deal with it.
Okay, I could understand that. Except for one thing. That planet is literally basically a bio research place. That
planet is just there to create the goo monsters. That makes sense. But why the ships on that planet were designed to be targeted at other planets? That's where I'm going at. Is they seeded the galaxy with life and then created the perfect killing machine to go destroy all that life.
Yep.
So, that's why I'm thinking it's a Noah's Ark situation, because all of those life forms left markers, pictograms, hieroglyphs, all that of the depictions of the aliens and where they're from, and it seems like an invitation to come find them.
Yeah, that part never really made sense.
So that would be if the survivors could find these. The survivors could escape, because the survivors would be en route to the dead planet when all the killing creatures were en route to where the people were. So the best of the best would make it to their planet where there are no longer any of these killing creatures, and they'd get to meet their creators, the engineers, while everyone else just died because they went and culled the universe.
I wouldn't call it so much Noah's Ark as I would maybe the Rapture.
Yeah, that could be another thing, 'cause ascending up to the sky.
Yeah.
But like, you see where that alone would make a better fucking movie.
No, I agree. I mean, they never really explained that part, even behind the scenes when I read my stuff. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe somebody came up with new stuff now, but
I've not looked into any of this lore, so
I'm just letting you know. I haven't. Let me see. Hold on. We'll just do a quick search. Okay, here we go. God damn it, Reddit.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a bullshit website.
Okay,
He
moving on.
gets frustrated when I'm right.
No, you're not right.
I like Reddit.
Stop it.
I like Reddit for porn. I see lots of nice titties on Reddit. That's about it.
Okay, so Ridley Scott explained that the idea was that it had several possible planets and that the crew picked the one moon because it seemed logical. But he also explained that the drawings could have been interpreted as a warning rather than an invitation. Don't go there.
True. Could be.
Anyways, who says that they want... Oh, fuck. Okay, that is a valid interpretation. Maybe the goo is not supposed to kill us all, it's actually supposed to transform us. Quote unquote, the same way that communion is supposed to give you grace. Maybe this is their version of grace. Their perverted blood from their deacon.
It's possible.
That would be really fucked up.
Make a better movie.
Okay, it would make a better movie, but at the same time, it would be fucked up.
It would be, but the Alien was basically designed by H.R. Geiger. It's already pretty fucked up.
Yes, but admittedly very beautiful.
It is. His artwork was amazing, and the world is blessed for his passing.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. Also, you know how long he had to fight Fox to actually get paid for his work?
Oh, yeah, because they originally they fired him halfway through the production, but then they still used his designs.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why he fought with them. He fought with them almost until he died. Before they finally paid him, and they're still paying out his estate.
Wow, that I didn't know.
Well, that's because he sued them for so much money they couldn't lump sum it. But his estate successfully sued for the what was remaining after he passed. They were still entitled to. So yeah, I think Disney settled it and gave them one big lump sum for the last portion of it. But yeah, okay. They've been paying that for over a decade.
Jesus. Okay. Like, this movie has a lot of different ways to get interpreted, and because of the religious connotations and the stupidity behind the rewrites, it's actually one of my favorites, just because of the different imagery and how to interpret it.
I mean, I can see it. I can see why people like this movie, but I can also see why there's so many people in the world who agree with me that this is a crap movie.
Yeah, I mean, okay, personally, I wish they had explored Shaw's faith a little more, because it seems she's a Christian. Maybe she believes in the engineers, and she's like, okay, maybe they're Christ-like or something like that. But at the same time, personally speaking, faith is not so much about... And I'm not going to give the cliche, faith is believing what you can't see. No. What I'm saying is, faith is self-sustaining. It can give you strength to do more.
Yeah. It seems like the biggest person who ever questions her faith in the movie is always David, the robot.
That's why I called... Go ahead.
You could have had some good scenes of them having the debate. Him with the analytical mind of not understanding just faith-based reasoning without empirical proof. And her defending that, like, without her faith, she wanted to become a scientist. She wanted to try to find proof, but she doesn't need the proof to be happy. She's happy just knowing her faith is in her.
I can see that.
Which is it does tie into the ending when she's picking up his head and he's saying he can drive, he can fly the ships, and she goes, "Where's my cross?" And she puts it on immediately after getting it out of his pouch, and he he literally questions her. He was, even after all of this, you still have faith? And she basically goes, well, without my faith, I have nothing. Like, she saw the love of her life die. She literally had to force herself to have an abortion through that medical pod. So she didn't even have children, and because of the type of surgery she had to do for a device designed for a male anatomy, that the way she did deep penetrating wounds, removing foreign bodies, she didn't just rip out the alien, she would have severely damaged her uterus by cutting in the way she did.
Yeah, I was
she
thinking
basically ruined her ability to ever have children now.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a hysterectomy, but yeah.
Yeah, it damn near is a hysterectomy that she gave herself. And again, without her faith, now at this point, she literally has nothing left. But that's also why you have her tell him, don't plot a court to Earth. They're trying to send death to where we came from. I want to go to where they came from. She wants the answer to, why are they trying to kill us? Why did the things that made us, the things that made us in their image, why are they trying to kill us? Why do they hate us?
Yep.
And there's some logic to that where you can debate, because people are fucking horrible and we kill everything. Therefore, we are useless as a species. There's nothing redeeming about humanity. But there's also the whole, without the faith, like, is them trying to kill everybody just a test of faith? And you're like, well, if you could figure out how to survive this, you're good. But everyone who's too dumb to survive are going to die. Which is an example of what the xenomorphs are. The xenomorphs are that perfect killing machine that anyone can survive against if you're smart enough, if you're resourceful enough, if you try hard enough. I mean, literally one of the greatest examples of that is in the 1979 Aliens movie, where Ellen Ripley, like, this thing takes out an entire ship, a battalion of Marines, all the people on the ship, an entire colony of people. Like, the xenomorphs in that movie destroy so much. One human was resourceful enough to take them down, to survive. Because she was smart, because she thought about it, because she persevered. She did the thing humans are good at. Killing shit.
But she also survived against it in the prior movie.
Well, I think the 1979 was the first Alien movie. She survived against it by being resourceful and
okay, but that one wasn't with the Marines. Aliens, the second one, that was with the Marines.
I thought the first one had the Marines too.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh. Well, again, she's a survivor because she's resourceful.
No,
so even in both movies, she's the one who survives because she just pushes on. She keeps persevering. She keeps her faith that she can survive. And even in the third movie with the whole prison, like, all the prisoners team up to fight against this thing at the end. She's the only one who survives. And she kills herself to do it.
Yeah.
And then they make a clone of her. And in that movie, there's like 4 people who survive. But one of them's a robot. That doesn't count.
Would you deny the humanity of our robot brethren?
I mean, if it's Lance Hendrickson from all the other movies, yes. Winona Ryder and Alien Resurrection, that's pretty human.
Lance Hendrickson was the good one. The bad one from the first one, that was like, no.
I want to say that was also Lance Hendrickson, wasn't it?
That was, oh fuck, I forgot his name. Shit. It was somebody else, though.
Was it?
Yeah, hold on. We'll look it up. Alien.
Because I could have sworn that's why Ripley's so hesitant to be by him.
No, she just dislikes, what do you call it?
She just likes synthetics, but I think that was why, because he's the same model.
No, he's like, a different model.
Not the exact same robot, but the same model line.
No, wrong. I'm not sure if it's the same line, but I know it's a different robot. No, it's a different robot line. But that robot was specifically a science or medical officer, and he he passed himself off as human until it was like the mission, like Wayland Yutani actually wants to study these creatures and shit, and he goes on a monologue about it.
Okay.
What was his name?
I think Kane? No. Ash, maybe?
I think it was Ash. Okay, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Brett, Kane. Here we go. John Hurt. No, wait. Not Kane. John Hurt was the one who died. Here we go. Ash. Here we go. You're right. Ash. Yeah. Ian Holm. Right here. This guy.
Okay. Yeah, I remember him now.
He was like a medical officer or a science officer, and then after after everything, he was like, I need to bring this back to the company because they want to study it and use it. And
yeah. So that's why she doesn't like synthetics, but but I'm just saying, like, Winona Ryder, they should have had more of her series of robots in these movies.
Okay, moving on. Specifically, though, the idea behind David is that he is the Luciferian character. He always he hates humanity, first of all. Second of all, he always questions and tries to undermine / seduce them to do what he wants. Before he drugged Calloway, I forgot, who was it? Here we go, Holloway. Sorry, Holloway. Before he drugged Holloway with a bit of the goo, he asked him, if you could try to find out anything about them, what would you do? And he said, I would give anything and everything. He's like, okay, then here's what you can do.
Yeah. Part of it is, I want to say that the synthetics have a learning AI. So they learn from being around people, being around things, having some kind of influence on them. I would honestly say the list of movies he's watching kind of contributes to why he has that hatred of humanity and that dislike, but also that charisma to talk them into things.
Yeah, I could understand that, definitely.
Especially since so many of his movies he's basically modeling himself after British military officers from like A Bridge Too Far and things like that.
Okay, yeah. But there's also, in the second movie, in Covenant, we see a flashback of David coming online for the first time with a young Wayland. And he's explaining to him that you are my son in everything but biology and shit.
Yeah.
And
that's right, because in Covenant, it's a direct sequel to this. It's the same David, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So, yeah, you have Wayland basically telling him that he's his son pretty much since he was created.
But from there, he's also learning that humanity isn't perfect. They're my creators, but I'm only made to serve. Fuck? I'm so much better than you.
That also goes to that conversation he was having with Holloway with the, if you could ask anything about your creators, what would you do? And he goes, I would ask them why they created us. And then he goes, well, why did you create me? And Holloway answers him, we made you because we could. Well, wouldn't this entire trip be pointless if it turned out that's why they made you? And Holloway gets pissed at him for that.
Yep. But it's true, though.
Yeah, it's true. Like, what if the only reason humans were created was because the things that were playing with the building blocks of life could?
That would be fucking depressing.
It would be, but there's actually a much newer movie that kind of sort of does the same thing and also has that super depressing tone to it.
Which one?
And it's another Disney property.
God damn it, Disney!
Toy Story 4.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Sparky.
Fuck.
Why does he exist? Because the little girl could make him. That's it. He exists because the girl thought he was a toy, therefore he is a toy, therefore he suffers like the toys.
Kind of reminds me of, what's it called? Rick and Morty episode where he's like, he creates a little robot, and he tells him, pass the butter. He's like, creator, why have you made me? To pass the butter. And he's just like, oh, fuck.
I mean, it also basically goes in the show. It's the existentialism. It's why do I exist? If I complete the thing that I exist for, then why should I exist? Do I exist because I think I exist, or do I exist because you think I exist? Is the thing that made me the thing that makes me exist, or is my existence based on the existence of myself?
You want a religious answer?
Because God said so.
That's a simple answer, but no. I mean, okay, no. That's the simple answer, but yes.
I mean, that's every Christian Scientist I've ever met.
Okay, specifically, each one of us has a little bit of the divine that is combined with the material world in order to make the human body. That's human body, mind, and soul. Now, once we die, that leaves, and all that's left is just our earth. You know.
So is that the part that weighs 27 grams?
We're not going into that. Moving on.
It's the divine self. It weighs exactly 27 grams.
That experiment is not scientifically proven.
It's not been scientifically disproven either, though.
It has.
No.
They've weighed people.
They have.
It's not conclusive. It's not the same across everybody.
It's not the same across everybody, but there is a noticeable weight loss at the exact moment of death.
Fine.
It's enough of a weight loss to at least register on even the most sensitive of scales. It might not always be 27 grams, but there is a perceptible loss.
Okay, some people just have fattier souls than other people do. Good to know.
Exactly.
Look, the main idea
some
is
people are more divine than others.
Yeah. Specifically, the point is that each one of us has a little bit of God. So because of that, that's how we run. That's the spark of life. So we are connected to God, and by that connection, we run, we think, we program, we do everything. And without it, then we wouldn't live, supposedly.
Is it a little bit of God what Catholics keep trying to put in the little boys?
I hate you.
I had to. It was too easy of a joke.
I know, but still. Look, the whole point is...
No, I get what you're saying, and it does. It makes perfect sense. And again, that is one of those kind of deep philosophical, metaphysical, and religious things that this movie could have tackled and made it an infinitely better movie, even if it becomes a more boring movie because of the heavy dialogue, the heavy exposition, all of that kind of rigmarole talking about this stuff, and the heavy thinking about these metaphysical roles.
No,
it would
I
still
agree.
make for a better movie.
No, I agree, but hear me out. The one thing I like about this kind of conversation is you actually get maybe not satisfying answers, but some answers. You know what I mean? Because, like, you've told stories. When you ask questions in Sunday school and shit, people don't give you answers. They're just like, because God.
Yeah, constantly.
I literally had to search and... Okay, everything I know about religion, I studied on my own. Okay? There were very few priests who actually understood. I wanted to learn, and they talked to me and told me this shit.
Oh, no, same. Like, there was even a point when I was in high school where there was somebody passing out little pocket Bibles outside of our school one day, and I went to public school. And I took one, and I read through that. That's literally my second time reading the whole Bible, but they had, I forget which version it was, but I read through that whole thing.
Right.
And the next time I saw that guy, I literally started quoting his scripture at him, and he was baffled and confounded. He had no answers for my questions. He couldn't, like, every time you quoted scripture at him, he said another verse. It's like, that doesn't answer me. That just proves that you're good at memorizing shit like I am. And I literally carried that Bible around with me for months, just memorizing it. They also were somebody passing out English translated Qurans.
Really?
Yeah. And I had one of those, and I read through it. It's actually a much better read than the Bible. And Torah. I got a Torah in the mail one day.
Really?
Yeah. I just went home after school, opened the mailbox. There was a Torah in there, and it even had a new to the faith beginner's guide to the Torah. So it literally had every so many pages of you reading through it. Then it would have if you have questions, and these are the most common questions for those sections. So it was you could learn some of the faith just from reading this book. It was pushing you to go towards the local synagogue and ask your questions and actually absorb the faith in person. But I actually did learn a decent amount about Jewish faith just from reading this little Torah book, handbook. And it was a full Torah, too. It wasn't a little, hey, I'll give some excerpts and then go to church.
You mean temple?
Temple, synagogue, church, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing, a lot of people will learn better on their own if they're pushed, and that's what you should do. You should push. Don't preach at people. Like, again, this movie would have been better if it raised those metaphysical questions and then kind of left it ambiguous. So like what we're doing now, we're having this discussion. We're having a discussion from somebody who was mostly faithful throughout his life, and somebody who is almost never been faithful to me, but we both have a high degree of religious knowledge. It's all just self-learned knowledge. I learned it so that I never sound like a complete idiot when I'm belittling people who are Bible thumpers, who are trying to tell me I'm wrong for the way I live my life by quoting the Bible at me. I know just as much Bible, and I can tell you you're wrong for the way you live your life because you follow the Bible.
That's the one thing people seem to forget. And yes, I'm talking about religion again, but hear me out. Just because, I'm the one who's like, religion, it's good. And you're like, no, religion's bad. But my point is specifically, even when Jesus was in the desert for 40 days and the devil was talking to him to do this and tempting him and such, the devil spoke scripture to him and told him, do this. It's in the book. Do this. It's in the book. Like, no.
Like, literally, if you follow all the tenets of the Bible, if you use the Bible as a pathway to be good, it's the most evil fucking thing you could do. The Bible is so fucking wrong. That's why I 100% will always agree with the absolute best Christians, the people who do the most godly work on this planet, the Church of Satan.
And I can't argue with that. I actually do agree with you.
Yeah. They might not believe in your God, but they help the poor, they help the needy, they don't turn their back on people, they don't care how you live your personal life, your private life is your private life. Come to church, observe the sermon, go home and live your life. Be a good person, don't hurt other people. That's what people say is being a good Christian is, but I've never met a Christian who does that. I've met a lot of Satanists who live to that ideal. Therefore, Satanists are better Christians, just by empirical proof.
All I'm going to say is, because you can't see me, I'm waving at him like, I'm right here, buddy. Hello? Right here.
Yeah, but you didn't completely renounce your faith, but you are not the diehard Catholic you were. You're even less Catholic now than you were when I first met you.
I don't disagree.
You do lean a lot more towards the Satanist church.
I still consider myself Christian.
You could consider yourself Christian, and technically the Satanist church is a form of Christianity. So it does fall into the lump sum of Christian churches because there are so many different versions of them. I mean, the Baptists are Christians, the Methodists are Christians, the Puritans are Christians. Which ones are does it feel good? Stop.
Evangelicals?
Yeah, those people. Basically everything that feels nice to you, you shouldn't do because it's a sin. Smoking, drinking, talking, having sex, unless you're making babies.
Even Catholics don't believe that anymore.
Yeah, I know. But they still believe in the almighty dollar is more powerful than God. Which is always going to be another part that the Satanist church is always better at. They don't care if you donate. None of them are ever like, yeah, no, you owe us a tithe or you can't come here anymore. They're all like, hey, can you spare $1? No. Cool. Next time, man.
Alright. I think we've said everything we need to.
Yeah, this is, as much as I don't like this movie, I would still recommend it. As a sci-fi movie, as a thriller movie, as a movie about aliens in general, it's a decent movie. I don't like it as part of the Aliens franchise. But I don't hate it as a movie, period. I just hate it within its own franchise.
I agree. I mean, again, it's one of my favorites specifically because of the metaphysical ideas, because I like diving into this shit, and if they had gone with the original script, it would have been a better movie. It would have been predictable as hell, but it would have been a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
No, I just agree. I say, yeah.
And
you would have understood Shaw a heck of a lot better. You would have understood more about David and the whole like darkness that is there.
Yeah,
Basically,
like they could have explored that so much better, but they didn't. They just rewrote the movie, but they left some of it in, and it just makes those scenes confusing. It makes them jarring because it's like that's not what this movie's about. It's what it was originally about. So, on that, we'll leave you. I mean, we don't have much else to say about this movie, and we can talk about religion forever. We'll save that for another one of our future ranting episodes where we just bullshit about nothing in particular. We don't even use the pretext of a movie review to start our rants. It's just a rant. And we'll probably do one that deals more with the metaphysical and existentialism and religion. But until then, goodbye. Be good to one another. Don't be a dick.
and remember, the dude abides.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Oh, and tune in next week. We're going to do Omega Code. Mega Do.
I actually like that one. That's actually a really good religious movie. We need to do that one. Yes.
Fine. Bye.